If you are interested in starting your own podcast, we use Buzzsprout because it is simple and easy to use. Buzzsprout can get your show listed on every major platform while giving you the resources for a great podcast website, audio players that can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to your podcast, and tools to promote your episodes. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that is why over 100,000 podcasters are already subscribed to Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Following the link in our episode descriptions lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So in return, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift card from Buzzsprout while signing up for a paid plan. Most importantly, every subscription through our link is always appreciated and helps support our show so we can continue delivering the quality content that you guys listen to. That being said, back to the show.
Hello, and welcome to Comic Book Junkies. I'm Andrew.
This is Joe.
And this time we're coming at you with our fantasy draft of the top superpowers. We're going to go through, do a little snake draft and, go tit for tat, picking our favorite or most desirable picks, and we'll go over those at the end. And then we also will be discussing our favorite superpowers, the ones that we would want the most, before heading into our wrap up, where we're going to discuss some of the worst powers, some of the dumbest ones that we found while, researching what kind of superpowers there are. So yeah, what's up, Joe? Before we get into things, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. One thing I didn't think about before recording this is how do we determine who goes first for this mock draft of superpowers?
You know what? I've never thought that. Let's do some quick on-air rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, shoot, buddy.
All right, best 2 out of 3 or just one and done?
Best 2 out of 3. This is going to be riveting radio for you listeners.
All right.
1, 2.
Wait. All right,
this ain't going.
Start over.
Okay, bro. Okay. We need a superpower for this. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I can't even see what you threw.
Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
This ain't working. You know what? I'll just defer to you. You get the first overall pick. Let's make it nice and easy.
Okay. So, with my number 1 overall pick, I'm locking in flight.
Ooh, good choice.
Superman flies. It's the last power Clark Kent gets in Smallville. So it's also symbolic of being in your best and final form. Also, it would be cool to be like my favorite character in that way. Would also give me probably more of a sense of adventure in life. Just knowing I'd have the ability to defy gravity would be pretty freeing. And being able to explore space in any direction would be cool. Imagine a nice hot summer day and you drop the top, but even more so. Truly limitless. But since you gave me the first overall pick, let's do snake style. You get the second and third pick. Let's go.
Beauty. So for my first pick at the 2 overall, I'm going to take invulnerability. So obviously I'm going to be impervious to harm, damage. You can't hurt me. That sounds perfect. Whether I can have any other powers, not being able to be harmed in basically any way would be a pretty sick power. We see how much of a tank Superman is. Think about the Thing. Someone wants to kick my ass, they can think they are, but it ain't gonna hurt me. So, it's such a OP power. You could even be a little more reckless than you used to, and nothing's really gonna come back to bite you in the ass.
I feel like that's one of those powers that would be more important if you're a superhero or a supervillain.
How about
everyday
driving
guy.
You think so? How about getting into a car at any point, walking in the street? We live in America, so literally going anywhere.
How many car accidents have you been in?
Not enough, but plenty.
Are you getting bullied a lot?
No, certainly not. But I'm just saying, when you can't get hurt, what's the problem?
Total defense pick.
Sure. Well, if that's the case, then number 3, I'm going to go with reality warping powers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dumbass. That's truthfully my 1 overall, but I was thinking you weren't going to take it, so I could let it slide. But, if you want to be snide, then we're going to take the best pick off the board. Think about basically any cosmic or above level superhero that can do some real wild stuff, a la Franklin Richards, a Scarlet Witch, literally just got rid of all the mutants by saying it. It'd be pretty dope if, 1, you can't hurt me, and 2, I can warp reality at will. So yeah, I'm going to go with those as my first 2 picks. On to you.
Okay. With my number 2 pick, we're going super strength.
Smart.
If I could bench more than all of my friends, including you, I would feel like the freaking man on campus. I feel like if you're in some type of a Justice League and that's your power, you're already the coolest member of your squad. And call me a meathead if you want, but there's just something about being a brute that's empowering.
True. Good pick. What's your next one?
All right, I'm going to complete my top three picks with super speed. So not only
Mm.
would you get all the benefits that come along with like being fast, but you could literally run across water, up buildings, vibrate through objects, create a tornado if you want to. So the possibilities are pretty much limitless. And if you're in a fight, I feel like you would almost always have the advantage.
Those are really good picks. Those are just core essential picks too. The best superheroes have those powers.
Thank you.
Good ones. Past that, okay, so I have reality warping and vulnerability. I'm going to go with super intelligence for my third overall pick. Because think about it, you don't even have to have other superpowers. If you're super intelligent, you can create gadgets, you can outthink your opponent. I mean, literally just look at Lex Luthor. He's fighting people who have super speed, flight, and super strength with nothing more than super intelligence. So it's got a lot of practical uses too. Whether I'm a reality warper or invulnerable or not, it's always good to be smart.
You picked the MODOK power.
No.
I feel like I mean being able to like think quicker than others and like to outthink people would be pretty resourceful. And especially if you're in a good financial situation, I guess like your Batmans and your Tony Starks, but I mean odds are you probably have pretty good credit score and some Benjamins if you are super intelligent.
That's what I mean. You can make your way into that. I mean, look at Franklin Richards, Batman, Lex Luthor, the greatest minds in their universes. They're regarded as such. When there's a problem, they go to those guys.
The only thing about it though is there's like a fine line between like it being a superpower and it being like attainable, because like there's some pretty smart people out there and it's just like nobody can fly for real, but there's some pretty smart people out there.
There are going to be smart people, but I'm going to be smarter than the smartest people. That's where it becomes super intelligence instead of just intelligence. Checkmate, you bastard. But with that in the snake pick here too, I'm kind of starting to, reevaluate a couple of my other picks because they are pretty close to some of the other ones. So I'm going to just pick a, one that's kind of off the beaten path, but could be very useful as well. We're going to go with invisibility.
It's a good one.
Thank you. If there's a lot of things you could do with it. Some of them more nefarious than others, but you can definitely.
Such a pervert.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe if you don't have super intelligence, you don't want this one. But regardless. I mean, it never hurts to go invisible, whether you're trying to be stealthy, do some recon, or I don't know, you just want people to leave you alone. Just turn invisible. I mean, the Invisible Woman is one of the stronger Marvel superheroes, whether that's acknowledged or not. And there's a lot of different uses you could use for it, whether the power can extend to making you and, other people invisible or, invisible barriers, whatever. There's a lot of applicable uses for something like that. So I believe this is. Do you have two more picks?
I got two more picks, but
all right.
I liked invisibility. That would have been pretty high on my list because that's something that's cool whether you're a hero or not. It's just convenient. In addition to that, like if you're like some kind of espionage, I don't think that there's like a better power than invisibility. But I guess to lock in my number 4, I'm going to go teleportation.
Nice.
So the idea of like commuting takes me out of most situations, including like driving to like even your place. You know what I mean? So
facts.
Being able to like bounce from place to place without wasting time would be a game changer. Like I would save so much money on gas commuting to work, and I could like literally be global with no effort. So number 4 is teleportation. And
this guy wants to fly and teleport. Talk about redundant.
Well, so if you can fly, like how fast?
Does it matter?
Well, like let's say I can fly as fast as I can run. Like is like then like teleporting is worth it, right?
I guess.
Because if you see me like flying 5 miles an hour, is that like much better than running?
But I've never seen anyone fly 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, what if I got the power to fly, but like turtle speed?
Real slow.
Yeah.
And then, blow.
So yeah, my last power is gonna be mind control. So not even just for evil shit, but to have that in your back pocket would be clutch. It could be used for defense as well as it could be used for good. You could prevent somebody from robbing you that way, but there are also situations where you can selfishly use it. Like I could make every single one of you guys listen to our podcast.
That's what we need.
So that's my top five.
You will. Good choices, though. I'm kind of torn on my final pick here because I feel like there's ones that are more OP, and then I feel like there's one that's just Q. You know what? I'm going to just lock in energy absorption and projection. So, I want to freaking shoot lasers, man. Shoot beams out of my hands. I want something destructive. I've been picking all these passive powers that can, help me not get hurt, be invisible and all that. I mean, reality warping, I don't really need other
I'm surprised
powers.
you didn't pick super healing.
Well, I don't do if I'm invulnerable.
Well, like
really
another defensive one.
Yeah, I will. Right under invulnerability, I had healing factor, and that's not to mention two above that. I had immortality, but just because you're immortal doesn't mean you can't die. So I'd rather just be invulnerable while I'm here. I don't want to turn into a vampire or vandal savage.
Facts. Could you imagine like falling off a building for any reason or getting pushed off one, but like, you can't die?
Yeah,
so you live like that forever.
Right. No, thank you.
Not me. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, but energy absorption and projection, I kind of want more of a active power, being able, some weird radiation or some weird stuff happens. I could absorb energy, whether that's from the sun or wherever, and, I could start shooting lasers and beams and everything like that. That'd be kind of cool to be a bit more offensive. But yeah, I'm going to just lock that in as my last one. Yeah, I'd say it's a solid draft, but for those listening, let us know who you think the winner is. I'm going to have to post this on our Instagram at CBJPod for those who don't know. I'm going to have to put them side by side so you guys can decide who had the better draft.
Yeah, if your powers morphed into one character, you got like some Thanos level dude.
That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. If this is just individual powers applied to an individual person, or if this is all of the powers that we chose into one person. Regardless, let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear it. And also let us know what power you would pick at the 1-1. That'd be pretty interesting to know.
For sure. Well, on to the next topic. Maybe won't be as long as the draft because we kind of went over a lot of different powers. But I guess to start, Burger, which superpower would you ideally want?
Ideally, I guess reality warping, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of like not your traditional lone superpower that people think of, but as comic book junkies, there are plenty of, like you said, almost like Thanos level characters that end up gaining some gnarly powers, and a handful of them can warp reality. Even with all my vulnerabilities, because let's say I'm not invulnerable in this case, I could still basically bend reality and shape it to my will. I mean, that's the best defense you could also really have, really, to a degree. But basically just not having to worry about a thing, kind of making things up on the fly.
You're like that one dinosaur that's got that like shell back with like all the spikes on it. You know what I'm talking about with that club tail?
Yeah, I know. What the hell are those called? But I know what you're saying. Those rule. Why am I one of those?
Yeah,
I don't
all
want to be
defense.
That's not all defense. Reality warping is like anything, dude. Regardless. Defensive. I want to be a turtle. Oh, I should have picked animal changing powers.
Yeah.
I could turn into a turtle or a club-tailed dinosaur with a shell. If I
Facts, like a really sweet Ninja Turtle.
Shut up, bro. Not like a fucking sweet Ninja Turtle. I don't want to be that. Eating pizza with some rats. Regardless, what's yours?
Mine's completely situational.
Okay, come on.
like if I was a superhero or villain, it would be super strength. I feel like it would just give me the best opportunity to survive, both offensively and defensively. It's basic, but I feel like at least I would feel safe that way. But if everything is as is in my life, like it's just me doing this podcast and going to work and so on and so forth, I'd probably want to fly like I chose with my first pick for all the reasons I listed above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flying real slow.
To make it messy though, yeah, like what if you got the ability to fly, but you could only go super slow? So I'd be a little pissed. But so at that point, super speed would be cooler in this non-superhero world because I would be able to get in and out of places with like nobody noticing or nobody being able to do anything about it. But
they'd notice.
Yeah, but if I'm moving like airplane speed, with my flight, I would probably like lock in flight over super speed. But lastly, I will say that the strongest power of all time probably would be the ability to warp reality.
Oh, okay. Not a
So
bad choice then, huh?
yeah, because at that point you're like a god.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could slow time, move through it, you name it.
Yeah, go on defense, not do much. Just just be scared of everything. Just be like, you can't hurt me now.
Sleep with the lights on.
Oh, for sure. I got a question for you. If you did have the ability of flight, would you wear a helmet? Seeing as
Well, you don't want to get no bugs in your teeth, so for sure.
oh, so you're wearing like a full-on motorcycle helmet.
And a motorcycle jacket.
It's fucking Superboy from the 90s, just but with a helmet on.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be
Oh,
like
okay.
the same hood that Red Hood uses.
How the hell does he see anything, dude? He needs like windshield wipers on that thing.
That would be a game changer.
That would be hilarious. They come down from the top and just you squeegee his face.
Where his eyebrows are, there's two of them.
It looks like a face. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, next time.
What if what if Red Hood also because he's got to take the full thing off to like eat and drink. What if he had like a little hole for a straw?
There we go.
DC, listen, I've got ideas here.
It's crazy.
Shoot.
They never thought about that. Poor guy's probably always hungry.
Yeah, dude, he's always dehydrated, running around in like leather boots. He's probably got foot cramps. I know I would.
It's got to be pretty stinky and sweaty up under there too.
Oh, shoot. But I think those are good, powers for us to pick. I mean, were there any that you left off the table that were kind of like, honorable mentions? Because I've got at least one, maybe two that are sticking out at me for ones that I considered that aren't always chosen, with the main one being magnetism, like Magneto. I mean, wouldn't that be sick? I mean, we live on Earth. There's a lot of metals, a lot of
Aluminum.
yeah, aluminum, all kinds of different stuff, bro. Think about it. Magneto's like Omega level, one of the toughest fuckers, and he just has magnetism.
I think I'd rather have like the ability to control fire than magnets.
Even living on Earth, like you could just go to a city and just rip everything into shreds and
Okay, Magneto's coming to attack you, and the Human Torch is coming to attack you. What are you more scared of?
well, I mean, if I'm not a superhero, I mean, I don't want to be burned alive, but I also
Right.
don't want a guy to crash a building on me or like throw a steel beam at my head. That'd be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, but like Human Torch could throw like a flaming steel building on you.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that comic like supervillains or heroes are more scared of the Human Torch than Magneto? And they have like invulnerability, and they're still like, please stay away. Like Cyclops is probably gonna like optic blast the Human Torch and be like, get the fuck out of here. And then Magneto shows up and he's gonna be like, oh shit, it's that guy again. Like Magneto, like our whole Earth is just metals, and he can like that can happen anywhere. I mean, so could the Human Torch, but shoot him with the hose, like whatever, man. Dumbass, you're gonna go in a boat. What's he gonna do?
I guess he would have a
You want to be
more
the fire
convenient
guy?
weakness.
Fire guy on the planet that's a majority water. Yeah, no, I'm scared of the magnetism
I'm
guy.
gonna be hanging out on land,
Yeah, well,
especially if I'm a fire guy. Yeah.
yeah, but now you're fire guy.
Well,
Yeah, dude,
you're
I definitely,
Magneto.
I could like wrap metals around your ass and snuff out all the fucking
You would.
oxygen so your flame goes out.
You would.
Dude, no, I would put metals around me so you can't hurt me because everyone knows that defense is the only thing that matters.
It's facts.
Stupid running bit. But
Well,
regardless,
before it gets any worse, let's move
speaking
on
of
to our last topic.
the like dumbest superpowers that we could think of, well, that have
Correct.
been made. And I've got me a nice little list. I don't know what you've got. That's a fun part of these. It's like doing like a presentation to each other, but we don't tell each other what the hell's going on. So everyone's, surprised, including you guys listening. So let's go with the worst powers that I'll just read a couple I found, so hopefully I don't take yours. Having your arms detach, a la arm fall off boy. Couldn't think of anything dumber than your sole power is removing your arm at will. And like the best thing you could do with it is to like club someone over the head with it. Or if you're a pervert, you could use it. But outside of being a pervert or clubbing someone with your arm, I don't know what that does for you. I mean, facts. My second dumbest power I found are super powered mood swings. That's Rainbow Girl, which that's borderline sexist because her whole power is like PMSing like aggressively and it's like uncontrollable. So it's just like, well, okay, what are we saying here, guys? But either way, your whole power is being on the rag and getting like fucking pissed and sad and then like happy in like a short amount of time. I don't know how that benefits anyone, including yourself. That sucks. And then third is bounciness. That's from Bouncing Boy. So, I mean, all he could do is basically turn himself into a ball and bounce around. There's nothing really like a strength or defense to that. Because, I mean, think it like if you just turned into like a kickball, that would suck ass because you can't do anything really. I mean, I could bounce at you, but like, is that really going to mess you up? Probably not. Seems like a bit more annoying than anything else. And I've got plenty more of these that are actually even dumber. They're actually dumber than bounciness. That actually might be the best one left on my list. You got any you want to toss in, or shall I keep going?
I only had two. I
Let
took
them.
the prompt a little differently. So hear me out. The lamest power would be insect control. So
What?
as terrifying and hilarious as it would be to send like a swarm of wasps at people or like armies of ants, I don't want to be the bug guy. It's like a Dale Gribble of superpowers.
You're
There's
selling it
that.
to me right now.
And then realistically, I wouldn't want to know the future. Like knowing your fate and everybody else's would be depressing. Then to try to change the future because you know what it is would just create a lot more messes. It's a cool power, but I wouldn't want the burden of the responsibility of having a power like that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if that would ease my anxiety or amplify it.
Yeah, you thought I was anxious now.
Yeah, that's we did approach this differently, which is the fun of doing these prompts. But yeah, we did have a little bit of a different thing here because I've got a few more that I found that were like real dumb. Let me know what you think. A lot of these are Legion of Superheroes characters too, which just apparently have the worst useless powers that you could find. Because the next one, changing the color of things. That's Color Kid. Literally his whole power is just changing the color of things. He can't do anything else. But, you know, like our microphones, he could turn those red or I don't know. I mean, depending on his sense of humor, he could be funny. But other than that, nothing else is going to be very productive from his stupid powers. I think you'll like this one because it's not really stupid for like us because we're dumb, but as a superhero, it doesn't really help you. Eating anything fast, like Matter Eater Lad, you already got that one, but it's not really much of a superpower. I mean, he could eat anything that's matter, but isn't food also matter? So why doesn't he just eat food? But I mean, if you want to eat salt shakers and like walls, I mean, go ahead. This one is like super crappy. Blue skin. So there's a mutant and their name is Jazz. And basically he's a drug dealer and a shitty rapper. And no, like literally, like that's part of it. He's not even like that's not me denigrating him. Like he's literally known to be a bad rapper, even in the Marvel universe. And his whole power is turning blue. So I mean, couldn't get more useless than that. And then the one of the last two. This kind of ties into your bug control powers, but giant stomach maggots. That's the character Maggot from also the X-Men line of books, just has giant stomach maggots that also he can control to like eat stuff, I
I'm
guess.
telling you, nobody wants to be that guy.
No, I definitely wouldn't want to be the maggot guy. That one sucks. And then an all-time classic worst superpower. This is my last one. Being able to turn into water like the Wonder Twins. Classic, you know. Oh, I turn into an eagle, and then I turn into a bucket of water. It's like, thanks for nothing, bro. Just fucking go elsewhere. Could you imagine just getting like the shit end of the stick though? You and your twin have superpowers and you can only turn into water.
You're the worst of the two twins. Yeah, that would
Um,
stink.
yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's other bad powers. Let me know if I missed any. I mean, if you have your own personal opinion, what would be the worst one to have for yourself personally, like Joe was thinking? Let us know that as well. But other than that, I think that we've exhausted our worst powers list. I think you guys have an idea of what powers we would want, and clearly you've heard our power rankings through the fantasy draft of what powers we would want most. With that, just a reminder, if you want to hit us up, go to CBJ Pod on Instagram. If you want to tell a friend, we would love that. You don't have to, though. Spreading the word is always good. Rating, subscribing, reviewing. I say it a lot and I say that I don't care, but I keep saying it. So apparently I do care, but I trust you guys to do it, but I gotta keep saying it. But regardless, that's good for the algorithm. I don't understand the algorithm, but if it's good for the algorithm, it's good for us. And yeah, I mean, just keep up with us. Hit us up at our email, cbjpod@gmail.com. If you want to ask us questions that'll be featured on the show, that's one of the best ways to reach out. Otherwise, you could slide in our DMs. We would love nothing more than to have your questions and we could talk about them if we got time at the end of our shows. And yeah, I mean, if you're new here, thanks for finding us. If you're part of the old crew, thanks for sticking with us. And Joe, do you want to hit the people with what we're going to do next time?
Yes. So we are on an Alex Ross kick. So we read Marvels, we've read Kingdom Come, but I guess Justice is more of the equivalent to Marvels. So we're gonna do that event this time around.
Yeah, I've already read this one. I bought it actually like a few years back in like physical trade, but I'm gonna be giving that one a reread. If you guys heard our episode on Marvels, you'll know that I'm a big Alex Ross guy. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I've been trying to talk Joe into it for some time now, and he agreed. And I think we're cooking up another banger for you guys.
Yep, it's new to me. I'm excited and can't wait to review.
That being said, thank you all for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Later, guys.
Later.